may even think that breakdance is related to hip-hop, but it is a sport that, in fact, will be at the Olympic Games. But if breakdance is an Olympic sport, why is futsal not part of the Olympics? Calm down. In this video, I will explain you how a sport makes its way onto the Olympics game calendar and why futsal is still not considered an Olympic sport. What's up guys, I'm Coach Thiago and welcome to our channel. Here the topic is futsal. So if you like this subject, subscribe to the channel and also activate the notification bell so you don't miss any news, okay? And as I previously mentioned, our topic of this video is the Olympic Games, more specifically how futsal is not an Olympic sport and how a sport joins the Olympic Games. There are two theories as to why futsal, being one of the most practiced sports in the world, if not the most, is not yet part of the Olympic framework. The first idea is that for a sport to become Olympic, it is necessary that it follows some criteria required by the International Olympic Committee, or IOC. The IOC is the entity responsible for organizing and managing the Olympic Games. It is the one who dictates what comes and goes and what can or cannot happen. The entity recognized worldwide as the organizer of futsal is FIFA, which is also the organizer of football, as many of you know. FIFA is the one that should make the formal request to the IOC to include futsal in the Olympics. But for FIFA to make this request, it first must meet the requirements imposed by the IOC for a sport to become Olympic. First, FIFA would have to get together with all its national federations, such as the Brazilian Federation, the Royal Spanish Federation, the Portuguese Federation, and many others, in order to have unified rules in the sport of futsal. Although it is not possible, the truth is that futsal has different rules in different countries. For example, in Russia, where an official game has two halves of 25 minutes, when it is recommended by FIFA, two halves of 20 minutes. In addition, it is also required that the sport, in this case futsal, has a women's and youth World Cups, which FIFA has not yet created. Another criteria also required by the IOC is that the sport has to be practiced by men in at least 75 countries on 4 different continents, and by women, the sport has to be popular in at least 40 countries on 3 different continents. There are many requirements demanded by the IOC, and some of these FIFA has already fulfilled, such as a sport being widely practiced by men and women in the world. But others, we have to go much further in order to have futsal as an Olympic sport. The other theory, which is less believed to be true, is that there is a political war between FIFA and the IOC, which avoids futsal from becoming an Olympic sport. The first disagreement between the two entities is about football or soccer. If you don't know yet, football is in the Olympic Games. However, the sport in the Olympics for men is only for players under the age of 23 years old, with the possibility of having 3 players over the age limit. FIFA believes that it would be irrational to have football without the restrictions at the Olympics and 2 years later have the Football World Cup. It argues that by having the sport open in the Olympics, you would take the shine and the prestige out of the World Cup, which happens every 4 years, being the most watched broadcasted event in the world. That's why there are such age restrictions. The IOC does not agree with it, but as it is a requirement imposed by FIFA and the IOC believes that football is imperative for the Olympic Games, as it is the most popular sport, the requirement is accepted by the IOC. The second disagreement between the two entities is related to the men's futsal World Cup. as in football, the Futsal World Cup takes place every 4 years, with Brazil being the biggest champion of the competition, with 5 titles out of 8 total editions played. The problem is that the Men's Futsal World Cup takes place in the same year as the Olympics, and it would be infeasible to have both competitions, the Futsal World Cup and the futsal in the Olympics, in the same year. So either FIFA would have to change the dates of the World Cup, but for being a for-profit company, it doesn't want this to really happen because it would decrease its profits generated from the Futsal World Cup. Or, as the IOC believes that futsal is a variant of football, in the Olympics the sport would have to have the same rules as football, with players aged at most 23 years old. So these are the reasons why it is believed that futsal is not yet part of the Olympic Games. If you have any questions or anything you want to know more about futsal, comment down here, because we are always keeping an eye on it. I hope this video has provided you with interesting and valuable information. Remember to subscribe to our channel, activate the notification bell, and leave your like below. I'll see you all in the next video.